Hashtag the Eternal Dawn. Dr.
Maya Chen had lived her entire life on the sunward side, where eternal daylight bathed the sprawling cities of New Tokyo in perpetual golden warmth. She had never seen a star,
Never experienced darkness.
never felt the cool touch of nightfall that her grandmother spoke of in whispered stories from the ancient world. The Earth's rotation had slowed to match its orbital period centuries ago, leaving half the planet locked in permanent day while the other half remained trapped in endless night. Between these two extremes lay the twilight zone, a narrow band where the sun hung forever at the horizon, painting the sky in endless shades of orange and purple. As Earth's leading temporal physicist, Maya had dedicated her career to understanding why the planet's rotation had synchronized with its orbit. Official records claimed it was a natural phenomenon,
a result of tidal forces that gradually slowed Earth's spin over millennia. But Maya had discovered anomalies in the ancient data that suggested something far more disturbing. Her research partner, Dr. James Mitchell from the Darkside Research Station,
contacted her through the quantum communication array that connected the two halves of the world. His voice carried the weariness that all Darkside inhabitants possessed, their circadian rhythms permanently disrupted by the absence of natural light cycles.
Maya, I've found something in the geological records that doesn't match the official timeline, James transmitted,
his image flickering on her holographic display. The rotational slowdown wasn't gradual.
It happened suddenly, over the course of just 50 years, starting exactly 800 years ago.
Maya felt her heart skip. She had discovered similar discrepancies but had assumed they were measurement errors.
James, what are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that someone or something deliberately altered Earth's rotation. The question is who had the technology to do it, and why?
Their investigation led them deep into restricted archives, where they discovered fragments of historical documents that painted a terrifying picture.
800 years ago,
humanity had been on the verge of destroying itself through climate change,
nuclear war, and resource depletion. Then, mysteriously, the conflicts had ceased, replaced by a new global unity focused on adapting to the slowing rotation. Maya's breakthrough came when she analyzed the quantum signatures embedded in the planet's magnetic field.
The patterns were artificial,
created by technology far beyond current human capabilities, but more shocking was the realization that the technology was still active,
continuously maintaining the synchronized rotation through subtle gravitational manipulations. She arranged to meet James at the International Twilight Research Station, located in the permanent sunset zone that served as neutral territory between the day and night sides. The facility was a marvel of engineering.
Its solar collectors and heat exchangers balanced to harvest energy from the eternal dawn. Maya, James greeted her,
his pale complexion stark against her sun-bronzed skin.
I've been analyzing the power requirements for maintaining this rotational lock. The energy involved is astronomical. Whoever did this had access to stellar-level engineering capabilities.
Together, they traced the quantum manipulation signals to their source, a network of massive installations buried deep beneath the Earth's crust, each one generating localized gravitational fields that collectively held the planet in its synchronized state. But when they attempted to access one of these facilities, they triggered something that changed everything. The underground installation came alive with lights and humming machinery that had been dormant for centuries.
Ancient holographic displays activated, showing Earth as it once was, rotating every 24 hours. Then came the message that shattered their understanding of reality. Greetings, children of Earth. We are the temporal custodians, your descendants from the 32nd century. What you call the Great Synchronization was our intervention to save your species from extinction.
Maya and James stared in shock as the holographic figure continued.
Your 21st century was characterized by increasing global instability, climate change, resource wars,
and social collapse were leading humanity toward total annihilation.
Our historical records show that without intervention, human civilization would have ended by the year 2157.
The revelation was staggering. Humanity's future descendants had traveled back in time and fundamentally altered Earth's rotation to force the species into a new evolutionary path.
The permanent division between day and night sides had eliminated many resource conflicts,
as each hemisphere developed distinct advantages and dependencies that required cooperation rather than competition.
But why hide the truth from us? Maya asked the projection.
Because knowledge of temporal manipulation creates paradoxes that could unravel the very intervention that saved you. Each generation must believe their reality is natural, or risk making choices that undo their own salvation.
James stepped forward, his voice trembling. What happens to us now that we know?
The holographic figure's expression grew sad.
You have reached the critical knowledge threshold that exists in every timeline we've modified. You now have a choice: accept memory modification and return to your normal lives, or join the custodian program and help us maintain the stabilized reality for your contemporary civilization. Maya felt the weight of impossible decision. Everything she thought she knew about her world was a carefully constructed intervention by time travelers trying to prevent human extinction. The eternal day and night that defined her existence were artificial constraints designed to force humanity into a more sustainable path. But as she considered the choice, she realized something that the future humans hadn't anticipated. The very knowledge of the intervention was itself part of a larger pattern. In seeking to prevent one future, they had created the conditions that would eventually produce the time travelers who would go back to prevent it. They were trapped in a temporal loop of their own making. There's a third option, Maya said suddenly. What if we find a way to gradually restore natural rotation while maintaining the social structures that prevented our extinction? What if we can break the cycle? The holographic figure flickered, its programming clearly not designed for this possibility. That was not anticipated. Such an action could create a new timeline entirely. Maya looked at James, seeing her own determination reflected in his eyes. They had discovered not just the truth about their world, but possibly the key to breaking free from a future that trapped humanity in an artificial solution to its own mistakes. The real question now was whether they were brave enough to risk everything for the possibility of authentic human development, even if it meant facing the same challenges that had once nearly destroyed their species. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It's easy for you, and it will help me in my development channel so that I can try to release new videos.